apart from the West Bank, which is this contentious issue, like what are some of the other issues that you think Israel is getting wrong? I mean, Israel's getting accused of genocide and starvation and all that kind of stuff every day. What are some of the misconceptions that are really just frustrating you and grinding your gears when it comes to that?
I love the conversation of genocide so much because it's literally the most ridiculous talking point, especially in light of everything else. And I'm going to quote to you some crazy statistics now, but everything else that's happening, not in faraway countries, just like right on the direct borders of Palestine. But let's talk about Gaza for a second, and then we'll get into the hypocrisy. In Gaza, this claim of genocide keeps getting thrown around. I've had such an issue with this, and I really try to understand the pro-Palestinian perspective from their shoes. I try to go in there and understand where they're coming from when they say genocide. But any which way you cut it, it just comes out as a farce. Let's look at the numbers real quick. Since October 7th, 2023, it is claimed by Hamas, the Gaza Health Ministry, okay, which is run by Hamas. It's the only organization on the ground counting the bodies. They claim their highest numbers are 60,000 dead. But they make zero differentiation between a combatant and a child and a woman and a man. So much so that Yahya Sinwar was found on the list of dead women and children earlier last year.
Wow.
Which, for people who don't know, Yahya Sinwar was the head or the mastermind of October 7th and the militant leader of Hamas. So just so if we put it into perspective, that number that keeps getting floated, that people keep yelling, 60,000 dead Palestinians, there is no differentiation in that number between Hamas combatants and civilians. Now, Israel, at their highest, has said that around 27,000 to 30,000 combatants have been killed. Now, because this is a debate, right, and nobody can trust both sides, let's just take both sources at their highest number. 30,000 dead combatants, 30,000 dead civilians. That means that 60,000 people have been killed, but 30,000 of them have been civilians. For almost 2 years, according to John Spencer, who is like a very, very popular military analyst who, you know, he knows his research better than you or I ever will. He's quoted several times, somebody who's actually been to Gaza and studied this inside out. This is the lowest civilian casualty rate in urban warfare combat history. It's a 1-to-1 death ratio. It's unheard of in any war zone in the world. So just based statistically on this, if you wanted to show genocidal intent, you literally cannot. But the thing that to me is the most astounding, Gaza has maintained since October 7th a positive birth rate of tens of thousands of babies, to the point where that nearly 70,000 babies have been born in Gaza since October 7th. 70,000. The population of Gaza has increased since October 7th. Now, people always say, well, in Auschwitz, the population of Jews has increased. Yes, but how? Not by babies being born, by more Jews being trained into the concentration camp. So when you want to try to find genocidal intent in Gaza, we have to look real quick at the surrounding area. Let's just look at Lebanon. 380,000 people killed. Syria, 580,000 people killed. Yemen, 340,000 people killed. Sudan, 500,000 babies have been killed from malnutrition because of the genocide that's going on, which numbers have reached 2 million. Somalia, it's another 780,000 people killed. Ethiopia, it's in the hundreds of thousands just in the last 4 years. Congo, it's like 2 million in the last couple of years, last 3 or 4 years. So whenever I'm looking to have a debate about this, I'm always like, especially when I'm speaking to Muslims or to Arabs, it's like, you want me as a Jew to take you seriously, right? You want me to look to you as my brother. You're my Muslim brother. You're supposed to be my superior. I'm supposed to look up to you as a Muslim. How can I take you seriously when you're calling out 30,000 dead civilians, which every civilian who died in Gaza is a tragedy? Do not get me wrong. Me and Ali will both sit here and condemn that day in, day out. It's a tragedy that has to happen. But my blame falls not on the IDF. It falls on Hamas for starting this war. And if you, as a rational person, can't look at Sudan, Somalia, Yemen, Libya, or not Libya, Lebanon, Syria, Libya as well, and call that out and say, hey, this is happening on a much worse scale today, not yesterday, today, it's happening today. People in Sudan are going to die in mass today more than in Gaza, and nobody will talk about it today in August 15th, 2025. That's going to happen today. No one's going to talk about it. Yeah. That is immoral. That is a lie. And that's why I always say Palestine, free Palestine, it's a scam. You're being scammed out of your attention, out of your social media, out of your brain power. You're being scammed to think about something, this cause that's being inflated to take up so much of your brain space. When all over the Middle East, on the direct borders of Palestine, the worst atrocities in human history, people are being burnt in tires alive in parts of Africa, in some of these conflict zones. Alive in tires. It is not the same as a kid unfortunately getting hit by a rocket as collateral when they're not being aimed for. Or for Israel accidentally killing people from the World Central Food Kitchen and then apologizing for it and saying this was a mistake. It's horrible, but it's not equal. It is not the same.